Shout out Heather, my home state, our home state.
Yes.
Let's go. All right, Heather, how do you stay positive on impossible days? Man, that's such a great question. As soon as I saw this one, I'm like, man, we have to talk about this, Matt, because is every day good?
No.
Motivation's high, motivation's low.
It ain't rainbows and unicorns.
It ain't rainbows and unicorns. I wrote about this in Stop Starting Over. There's motivation and there's demotivation. And if you look at like a graph, okay, you're gonna go up that way, or you're gonna stay flat, or you're gonna go down. There's one of three directions that you can go. When you're motivated, you gain a lot of progress and you go up. And you get a little bit demotivated, okay, and you go down. All right, and then you get a little bit more motivated and you go up, and then you get a little bit more demotivated, go down, and that pattern happens over time. And when you have a purpose out in front of you, you're gonna go up. You're gonna go up. If you don't have a purpose, if you don't have anything to work toward, a North Star, then you're never going to run the cycle of linear progression in your motivation, all right? What's gonna happen to you is you're just gonna wander around aimlessly, and sometimes you're gonna get sick of how you are and what's going on and how you feel, and you're gonna get motivated and you're gonna go up, and then when you get motivated, you go right back down. Get motivated, you go up, right back down. That's called commonly yo-yo dieting, right? Or in fitness, we call it hopping. You're gonna hop from place to place to place to place to place with no commitment. Okay, and that's the worst place you can be in. Not just in fitness though, but in any point of your life. The worst place to be is when you're hopping from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity to opportunity to opportunity, and you have no aim or no end goal. You don't know what you really want. So therefore, when you get motivated, it's something on the short term and you go for it, but as soon as that short-term motivation goes away, boom, you go right back down to rock bottom. And then you don't want to go below rock bottom because you're a motivated individual and you got goals and you got dreams. So rock bottom's really painful. And it's more painful than having, to put the candy down, right? So then you get motivated, you start training, you go back up. And then the third scenario is when you start training and you get some momentum and you completely stop. And then you just plummet, okay, all the way down. And then you get a little bit more motivated, but you completely stop for years on end, and then you're gonna plummet further and further and down into this physical and emotional recession. So Heather, let me give you the punchline so that you understand this, so it can really hit a trigger for you. Impossible days, okay? Impossible days, the ones that feel impossible, those are the days where you're the least motivated. Now the trick is how can you shorten what we call the refractory period of that motivation in the moment? And the best thing you can do is, like I said, have a purpose, but oftentimes that's not enough because you've never really experienced the purpose. You can visualize it, you can think about it, you can manifest it, you can go toward it. But here's the missing piece for most people. Matt, you ready for this? Heather, you ready for this? Bird Nation, you guys ready? The missing piece for this. Okay, the missing piece is, what are you running from? What are you running from? You need to be running from something that you've already experienced, that there's no way in hell you're going back to that experience of life or that environment, right? And then there's a constant level of demotivation or motivation no matter what scenario that you're in. So you need something to pull you forward. You need something to push you from behind, right? And then you need the toolkit on a daily basis, right? To shorten the refractory periods on the impossible days, because they will happen. And the impossible days are times 2 or times 3 over the possible days, over the days where you're strong and powerful and you feel motivated and capable. And then those days where you don't feel so motivated, you don't feel so capable, you don't feel so fired up. What's the purpose of it all? What is this life? Is anything I'm really doing making a difference? Is anything I'm really doing moving the needle for me? I'm just gonna go eat that because life is tough right now. Shorten that. Shorten that. How do you do that? Talk about your 5 friends, your circle.
So 2 things I really do, and again, I have bad days. And if my wife is watching this, she knows those bad days. Sometimes last 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So the 2 things I do is, we live in a social media world. Unfollow the people that don't bring you any positive thoughts. So if you got people on Facebook, if you got people on Instagram, and if in those posts, that content that they're producing isn't positive for you, don't absorb that content. And the other thing in real life is stay away from energy suckers. Stay away from the people that, even though their candle's lit out, they want to put out someone else's candle. All right, so stay away from the people that suck energy away from you. Find the people that are positive all the time and spend more time with those people in your real life. Okay, so stay away from bad social media content, and then in real life, find those 5 friends that really lift you up and they don't break you down.
I love that. Like, it's, you guys hear this all the time, right, Heather? You hear, you are a byproduct of the people closest to you, the 5. If you look at your 5 friends right now, I want you guys to write this down. If you look at your 5 friends and you had to say, these people are motivated or demotivated, just choose one, how many of those 5 friends would you say are demotivated? Or you could think about it another way. Look at your 5 friends and say, do I want to be like them? Is the 5 friends that I have around me that I am closest with, do I want to be like them? Or are they crabs in the bucket pulling you down, right? Like Matt said, their candle's out, so now they want to put out other people's candle. Or you've heard the metaphor, don't be the building that tries to tear down the other buildings to have the tallest building. Just build the tallest building. And the way you do that isn't by yourself. The way you do that is with your best friends. Okay, and that's, I think, what has made Burn so successful is we're taking individuals who have maybe used to experience a team culture and atmosphere, who had positive influence around them, or they never have ever. And we're incorporating them into an experience, an environment that the field of study is called epigenetics, where their environment is actually having an impact on their psychology and their physiology, and it changes them as a person. It changes the neurocircuits that are firing for positivity and motivation, and for demotivation and for negativity. And we also have mirror neurons. So when I'm around Matt, I am a direct reflection of Matt, and there's nothing I can do about it. Watch this. See that? I didn't tell him to nod his head. As soon as I started nodding my head, he started nodding his head. We have mirror neurons. Okay? So not only is this like this esoteric, like surround yourself with like your best, the people that like lift you up, don't like break you down. Yeah, I get it. But this is science. This is rooted in human psychology and human behavior, that if you can literally look at the average salary of your 5 friends that are closest to you, and you'll be right in the middle. That's why I'm trying to hang out with.
That's why I hang out with Devin.
Billionaires.
That's why I try to hang out with Devin.
That's why I love flying down to Jupiter, Florida, and hanging out with the founders of Planet Fitness for a day to learn, to get through what they are trying to preach to me, right? Because how you spend your time in your environment is going to be the quality of your life. And that's so, so, so important, okay? So how do you stay positive on impossible days? Those things right there. But if none of that is available to you in the moment, is it?
It might not be.
Maybe you can unfollow some people on social media, but the things, if you did read it, the stuff that kind of they said sticks with you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's the one thing that you could do every single day that's going to create confidence, no matter what your circumstances are? And our advice, number one piece of advice, if you're feeling like your day's impossible, get to the gym, train hard. It's going to feel more possible after that 45-minute session where you are putting it in. Heather, that's an amazing question. Yep. Thank you so much. Anything else to add, Matt?
No, hopefully that helps. But again, don't overlook what Devin just said last. Go work out. You will feel better if you get through a hard, challenging workout, specifically at Burn Boot Camp, because we will do that for you.